Alrighty, and welcome everybody to another episode of Who's Got Clout, hosted on Clout Forum. My name's Mark Bentley, tuning in from Perth, Western Australia, and we have the amazing Alex Roken with us, who is hosting from Russia, holding the space down, and we'll come in with some great questions towards the end. And of course, our special guest today, Cassius Cuvée. How are you, my brother? Welcome to the show.
What's popping, Mark? Thanks for having me.
Man, I love your vibe. So, first of all, am I saying your name right? Cassius Cuvée?
Cassius, like Cassius Clay, the boxer. Muhammad Ali, Cassius Cuvée.
Cassius?
I'm Cassius Cuvée. Cuvée, like fine wine. You know what I mean? Like fine wine. I got a little custom bottle here. You know, I'm gonna have to bring you guys one if I come down under.
Yeah, sweet, man. That's epic. That's epic. All right, man. Excellent. So before we get into our conversation, if anyone hasn't come across you yet, well, they should be following you on DeSo, your favorite platform, Big Clout, Diamond Apple, whatever it is, because you, my friend, have been doing a lot for the community in your engagement, in sharing it out there and really getting it going. So to give people some context on who this man is with me in front of me here, Cassius Cuvée is a recording artist from Oakland, California. He is the first artist to ever make a music video NFT. His art is a reflection of his life. The pandemic gave him an opportunity to learn about finance, and he ended up making a viral music video, Spac Dream, which landed him on CNBC just 3 days after its release. He subsequently discovered crypto and immediately realized blockchain technology and decentralization are the future. Now that he understands the extreme value of financial literacy, he is making it his mission to bring awareness to members of his community who historically have not had an exposure to finance. He's doing this through his art and by being outspoken. My friend, it's been amazing watching that combination. And to be honest, Cassius, this is something that I've been so inspired about with BitClout, with DeSo, etc., is seeing these different worlds, right? You know, from entertainment and finance used to be two completely separate worlds. Yet here with you, we're seeing the alchemy mixing together.
Right. So, yeah, man. I mean, I love it too. And I love BitClout because, like you said, there's people from all over and all sorts of walks of life mixing together.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of which, anyone watching the live stream, we are live streaming out on YouTube, Twitch, and on DeSo. So if you're watching, you know, Alex is going to be keeping an eye on the comments as well to try and bring any comments you have, chuck them in the comments section, any questions for Cassius. But you can also join us live in the Zoom room and co-create the conversation in the chat. So just go to cloutforum.org if you want to join us there. Now, enough of all that. Cassius, let's get started. So before we go into your origin story and all that juicy stuff, the first video NFT. So tell us about that one.
So first music video NFT was an idea. So I went to the Bitcoin conference and you know, I was really inspired by it. I became a believer. I actually wrote 2 songs that I only released as NFT. I wrote them down there in Miami. One's called I'm a Believer. The other's called Tokenomics. And then, but I also had my Spac Dream my Spac Dream music video. I turned that into NFT. So the Spac Dream is the song Friday or Saturday. I guess it was a Friday. And then by Monday morning, I'm waking up in there and David Faber and Jim Cramer are playing it on CNBC. And it was the day after the Super Bowl, actually. And so, you know, I had to make an NFT out of it on Rarible. And so I have my whole collection of different music videos and music on Rarible right now. Cassius Cuvée I'm verified on Rarible.
Fantastic. Awesome. That's incredible, man. And so what I thought, we were talking before is we thought we'd start this session by giving people a taste of your music and what you've been doing. And what better video to play than Do It for the Clout. So before we start this video up, you want to tell us a little bit about that one?
Yeah, well, okay. You know, when I first heard about BitClout, it was actually on my way to the Bitcoin conference about the week before. And I was like, wait, decentralized social media, how does that work? You know? And I basically, you know, I took to it like a fish to water. You had me at hello. And I missed the meetup. I missed the meetup. Was like a Thursday, the night before it started. It was the day before, but we were flying. I'm coming all the way from Oakland, from the West Coast, and you know, my plane landed too late, so I missed it. And I was like, man, I got to get on this. But you know, there's a lot of things in crypto. I was pretty much still kind of new to crypto and blockchain technology, and I was trying to learn so much. But I knew I was like, that decentralized social media is onto something. And then once I realized the concept of the social token, and I was like, this could really be something. And Darian Parrish, we were in a what do you call it, Twitter, when they had the little meetups or whatever, it's like Clubhouse, but they had you could talk on there. I met him on there on a group with a bunch of people for BitClout. I joined it, and he had me on, and then I got real active on BitClout right after that. And then he had me on his show, his Zoom show, which is Clout Trends. And he told me about CloutCon. And I was like, CloutCon, what's that? And then I was the virtual conference for BitClout. So, we were on there for like 12 hours that day. I was on there the whole time, barely stopped to have a meal. And, I was just so inspired. It was great to put a face to a lot of the names that people have been interacting with. And it kind of inspired me to write the song, Do It for the Clout. So I was like, man, I'm going to make a surprise video for BitClout. And that's how I made Do It for the Clout. I filmed it right out here in East Oakland.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. Well, how about we crank it up? You ready for that?
All right, let's get it popping.
All right, sweet. All right, give me a second while I see if I can get this hopper. It's going to pop us on mute. We've got to make sure we get this sound cranking properly. There we go. All right, let's do this.
Used to do it for the gram, used to do it for the gram, now we do it for the clout. Used to do it for the gram, used to do it for the gram, now we do it for the clout. Used to do it for the gram, used to do it for the gram, now we do it for the clout.
Barely 4 months deep and it's blowing up. Cause IG's weak and it's slowing up. So when Darian told me about CloutCon, I was like, hell yeah, I'll be showing up. Set my FR to 1 till we passed it. Buying every coin, yeah, I always been a maverick. Had to put a bit of clout on the fabric. I bought a little mo and it's not your average. Wendy, Clay, Perry, music. At the party, this is how we do's it. DJ Tropics and Maddie choose it. Kinda hard to find my mind, I lose it. Pop a couple bottles in the background. I'm Cuvée, I know you recognizing that sound. I won't fool you, the devs, they will school you. At Crypto Rave, halftime show was Julia. The perfect name for giving out diamonds. Like designs to the shine might blind you. Breaking news, T-Raw just signed up. A bit of clout got eaten by a tiger.
Do it for the grams, do it for the gram, now we do it for the clout. Used to do it for the grams, used to do it for the gram, now we do it for the clout. Used to do it for the grams, used to do it for the gram, now we do it for the clout. Used to do it for the gram, used to do it for the gram, now we do it for the clout. I don't care if you're the hardest alive, you gon' need a platform where an artist can thrive. We in the game where the smartest survive. You better get up on a platform where artists can thrive.
And I'ma keep buying coins of the new folks. Encouraging to post with a few quotes. I even started BitClout TV so they can see that it's real, not a new hoax. Shout out one time to the GOAT trade. The referral program, get some more paid. And I give a lot of love out the Clout Trends. Trust Brian and Ed, I call the Clout Twins. That's with a K cause I'm crazy. I buy everybody coin, it don't faze me. I'm going hard till I'm pushing up daisies. Until a clout punch the profile of Jay-Z. Yeah, I stay handing out the rocks he was throwing up. You see the diamonds in my hands and they glowing up. Like the bubbles in my cup, they be flowing up. Buy my coin right now cause it's going up. I ain't never gonna sell, I'm a hodl mine. And I don't never spell clout without a dollar sign. A man has said it and I'll never forget the line. NFT means never forget the time. And I'm gonna bring in more Gen Z. And once they realize it's where they cool friends be. Plus the ballers who bought 100K clout. The type of bag that ain't nothing to play about. To all my followers, I'm happy to say it feels like we've known each other since back in the day. Please tag Diamond Hands in a passionate way and ask him to verify your boy Cassius Cuvée. Peace. Please tag Diamond Hands in a passionate way and ask him to verify your boy Cassius Cuvée. Peace.
Thanks to everybody in the chat. Cassius, I see you.
Man. Oh, hey, we got to get you unmuted there. All right.
Right on, man. I still have fun every time I hear that song, man, because it just brings back memories of CloutCon and the community. You know what I mean? And just that was just a exciting feeling.
Oh, man, watching that, like I've watched it a few times, and then watching it there with you there jamming along, it was like bringing back those vibes of feeling like we're in like the Nacho Average Call or something, in with the community, everyone popping and having a wicked time. And yeah, and you got so many references in there, so many deep references, actually, some really pretty good stuff in there.
Well, I try to write stuff so that, when people listen to it a second or third time, they pick up more stuff than they picked up the first time.
That's what I just noticed right now as I was listening. What was it? The NFT stands for, what was it?
Amanda said it, and I'll never forget the line. NFT means never forget the time.
That's it. Never forget the time. And I thought that's such a beautiful way of putting it.
Yeah. Amanda, so she said that Swiss Beats told her that. That's what she said in CloutCon. She said, Swiss Beats told me that NFT stands for never forget the time. I was like, I'll never forget that line.
Yeah. It's one of the best ways of describing, because NFT's non-fungible token is a bit over most people's heads, but really that's what it is, right? It's like capturing a moment in time that you never forget.
And it won't degrade. It can't catch on fire. You know what I mean? It lives on the blockchain forever.
Yeah, absolutely. So Alex is asking, did you produce these Clout t-shirts specifically for the video?
Yeah, well, basically I was like, you know what, man, we got to get I had to put a bit of clout on the fabric. You know what I'm saying? I had to do that. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, I got to get some clout. So that was my boy, Pac-Man Fever. He has a clothing shop right here in Fairfax in East Oakland. And their shop is on in viral video Spac Dream, but he makes clothes. Actually, this is one of his fits right here. And so it's called the Flyest. And so I was like, man, you got to help me make some Clout shirts, man. We got to make some Clout shirts. I'm doing it for the Clout. So he helped me make some shirts one time. So I was like, we're going to put them up in the shop for the video and rock it for the video.
Sweet, man. So are they available? Like if anyone wants to order them, or you got
we can get some on order for you. Yeah, but hit me in the DMs. Tell me if you want to order. You saw I have women's too. So, we can we can make the order as well. So if you want some Clout shirts, I got you covered.
And then so how did you feel when there was a change, when it moved from BitClout to DeSo, once DeSo blockchain had its rebranding? How did you feel about that with all the Clout going on?
Well, I felt good. And I'll tell you why. I didn't necessarily understand or even look deep into the tokenomics of, Clout coin. But what happened at the same time was that Nader came out and said that, he revealed that he was Diamond Hands, and it was kind of like a whole movement all at one time. And I won't say it necessarily legitimized it more, but it just kind of solidified it more, like this is us, we're here to stay. I always say we, whenever I talk about BitClout and DeSo, like it's our community. That's how I feel. It's decentralized social media. Jack Dorsey doesn't own it. Mark Zuckerberg doesn't own it. We own it. So, to me, it was kind of like, he kind of put the flag in the ground. It's decentralized social media, decentralized social with DeSo. And so, it just kind of, it's kind of like a rallying cry.
It felt right? Like it's hearing these words from you, man, 100%. Like you even said in the video just there, it feels like we've known each other forever. Like even with you, I'm sitting here, first time we're face-to-face really engaging, right? Yeah. But I feel like I could trust you with anything, like that we have a shared vision that it's like, hey, it's all in, Yeah.
And BitClout too, I find, at least based upon the experience on BitClout compared to Twitter and Instagram and stuff, at least for now, if everybody is more positive and wants to be your friend and stuff, like people want to talk to you, they want to be cool. It feels like on Twitter, like for kids growing up on Twitter, like the way they learn to speak to people is out of disrespect or something first. I feel like out of BitClout, it's like respect first. You show love first. You can give diamonds as a tip, all that kind of stuff. It makes you feel good to give somebody a diamond. At least it makes me feel good.
Absolutely right. Like I was just thinking about that this morning, Cassius, where I dropped on to do a post about today's session, and then I saw my wallet, and it's like my wallet is constantly just hitting about $5, right? Because as soon as it gets to about that, it straight away goes into tipping somebody or throwing a 4 diamond here or doing something there, and then the diamonds come flooding back in, and it starts building back up. But it's like I never pull that out. It just keeps on going back in because it feels so good, right? To be able to share that love.
Oh yeah, man. I ain't never pulling out nothing. I don't even know how to withdraw nothing. I'm not ever selling a coin. You can look it up. One time with Darian, he showed me how to do it on Prosper Cloud. He can tell. That's why I love the blockchain. I'm not lying. Okay. I ain't never sold nobody's coin. I'm never selling my own coin. We going DeSo all the way, baby.
Nice. And a big shout out to Darian Parrish. He was on the Who's Got Clout a few weeks back, and we had a great conversation. He's such an awesome guy.
Yeah, he's a rock star, man.
And that's the beauty, right? Like we were mentioning before we started that we've got, it's like I love watching people come from all these different spectrums and come together, like the chances of you and I ever actually meeting and connecting like this in traditional social media, it would have been pretty rare, right? Pretty unlikely. Whereas in this new world, all kinds of mixes and matches are happening. And we're watching this amazing alchemy, that comes from it. Like you say, people are being nice. And I'm watching people that, they haven't got big profiles anywhere else, suddenly, booming on DeSo because they're good people, So that's pretty exciting.
You can actually, get growth by being by showing love. You know what I mean? And a lot of times, the train wreck gets more eyeballs, or like, negativity spreads faster, right? So on, Twitter, if you want to be controversial or say something, everybody will point at you and you can get your profile up, but it's by way of by some negativity or something. I feel like on BitClout, the way my growth came is just by showing love. So I appreciate that.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Full. That's what it was for me. Like, when I saw you on the platform, it was, saw the video, I was like, oh, awesome. But then I saw, hang on, this is a video about BitClout. You've committed to the vision on that one. But then on top of it, I saw the way you were engaging with just, everyday people around the place. And there was no, I haven't really seen this hierarchy ego thing going on yet anyway, on the platform where and I think it's got a lot to do with, like you're saying, we're incentivized to be decent on the platform, right? Like you actually win by being a good person. So gamifying that is quite a thing.
Imagine that, right?
Right.
It's a novel idea, right? It's like, wow, you mean I can just be a genuine person and actually like engage with people? Whoa, what happened to social media, right? But I'm telling you, that's the difference. I don't know if it's a symptom or the root, but it's like, that's the difference of, centralized versus decentralized, and I think it's just a built-in sense of community. I've noticed that with NFT communities, within all sorts of stuff, that have to do with decentralization. So, especially, decentralized social DeSo is perfect. It's the perfect name. It's the perfect everything, it's the anti-social media kind of,
Yeah. It's the real social media, right?
Right. The social part of social media, right? More social than media.
Absolutely. I deleted my whole Facebook account once I jumped on. In hindsight, I was like, oh, that was a bit of a fucker of a move because now it's pretty hard to promote to those people that I had on there. But, it was one of those things.
And you know what? That's important too. And I'm glad they said it. What was the new Twitter account they made? It was DeSo something. And they were talking about, I think Nader put out the post on BitClout about how we're going to try to spread the word more on the other social media platforms. Because that's what I've been doing. I've been telling everybody on Instagram, and I usually mostly only use Instagram and Twitter. Otherwise, I have TikTok and Facebook, but Instagram and Twitter is how I was reaching out to people mostly before. And now at least a few times a week, I'm like, come over to the DeSo, come over to BitClout. I tell everybody, you should get on BitClout, you should get on BitClout, you should get on BitClout. And then I personally been signing up some people also, like you got to hold their hand through it. It's hard, of course, for some people who are brand new to crypto or just in general, right? They don't know anything about decentralization, but I've been able to like walk some people step by step through. And so, then you hope they tell somebody and you just keep pushing.
It's that slow, steady growth, right? Where if you handhold one person to fall in love with this place, then that's going to affect a lot of people rather than just machine gunning them. And speaking of which, Cassius, you were saying I saw one of your videos actually sharing information about blockchain, crypto, that kind of thing for newbies. So do you want to tell us a little bit more about what you're working on there?
Right. Yeah. And this is kind of, the last part you said when you're introducing me about spreading awareness. So it's not, there's finance, just in general, financial literacy, but also like specifically blockchain technology, distributed ledger technology. I do this thing called $1 Million Minute, right? And, quick sidetrack. To me, the most genius things that Satoshi Nakamoto built in with Bitcoin is not just the tech, right? Like the tech is genius, of course, right? But the fact that there is a monetary aspect to it, it gets people's attention in a way that is universal, that everybody will at least look into it. I don't give a damn if they look into it for the wrong reasons. Like once you realize what, distributed ledger technology can do for the world and democratization of just everything, instead of just somebody sitting at the top of the tower controlling everything, and the people can actually be in and have a say, like it brings people in by them thinking, oh, I can make some money. Well, whatever you got to do, then come take a look at this, And so I do this thing called $1 Million Minute, right? It's kind of the same thing on, on Reels and Instagram and TikTok and stuff. It's like, less than 59 seconds for Reels and YouTube Shorts. And I give tips on crypto and just about investing, but there's sometimes it might be about security, whether you want to have two-factor authentication, Google Authenticator, or just about trades. Make sure you have an exit plan. If you have an entry plan, what cryptos are hot this week, right now, today, like when Mana blew up. I was 2 days before that telling everybody, man, it's hot right now. Mark Zuckerberg's announced Meta, and so I try to do that almost once a day, $1 Million Minute. But then also what I'm developing right now, I just launched kind of the first real one last night, is just like YouTube, where I bring on some experts. I got a few experts. So half is going to be me bringing on experts who can go into details about like why you need a crypto wallet, right? This is mostly for beginners, but like wallets, or sometimes you get into the weeds, start talking about Yieldly on Algorand and all kinds of stuff. I have Clout TV, I have Darian on there. He had a lot of great information about how to be involved on Clout and the benefits of it for the future, about Viso's blockchain and how you don't lose all your followers and your social token if someone else were to build another decentralized social media on the same blockchain, like lots of different stuff. Sometimes you get deeper in the weeds than others. And then I'm also going to be doing too, and you guys will see, is a lot of people hit me up every single day asking me questions about something in my DMs every day. And you can't answer everybody one at a time. So one thing I'm going to start doing is some of the folks who want to come on camera, they can come on and ask me a question or 2 or 3 questions, and I'll answer their questions. So, so it's kind of like sometimes I'll bring on an expert, and then sometimes I'll be the expert and kind of help out the new folks. I'm really trying to be like a bridge for people who really don't know much about this, and kind of bring them over, because I'm telling you, man, nobody in my family or friends or community knew anything about finance, let alone Bitcoin and crypto and stuff. You know what I mean? I kind of happened on it by myself. And so I kind of am like the tip of the spear for a lot of folks who want to get involved, but they just don't know where to begin. And so I'm trying to help them get started.
Man, it's incredible what you're offering, because I mean, even yesterday I was looking up a fairly simple question about something or other. I was using MetaMask in some way. And for such a simple thing, it was actually really hard to find a simple answer, right? Just a quick, simple answer. And a lot of the times, people are talking to people that are crypto heads, people that are in this community. That's the language they speak. And it's easy to forget sometimes, right? Whereas to have someone like yourself that can, especially because of your artistic form and your creativity, you're contagious, man. You're bubbly, right? And that positivity, I remember in classrooms, it's like when you've got a teacher like that, you learn, right? But when you got one of those teachers that are all serious and it's like, oh, you have to do this, then it's like, you don't hold nothing in, right? So I appreciate what you're bringing out there, because that's incredibly valuable to the blockchain itself. Absolutely.
Right. And yeah, we forget now that we're on the inside, but I'm new to this, you know what I mean? Relatively, you know what I mean? I really didn't fully understand crypto until April, right? When I finally had, what happened is I took an NFT class. It wasn't a class. Well, it was a class, I guess. There's only 5 or 6 of us in there, but it was a guy just like the basic rudimentary, like what the hell is an NFT kind of thing, right? And so the instructor, I talked to him, befriended him. I showed him Spac Dream and stuff. And he was like, you should be an NFT. I'm like, what does that mean? So like, he's the one who kind of broke it down to me about like why is there more than just Bitcoin? Like, what are the other cryptos for? And what, people don't know that stuff,? And so I was like, oh, and it was like just immediately, I wish somebody had told me this years ago. I would have got on board. I didn't hesitate. So I still remember the time before that, when I'm on the phone with my buddy talking about stocks, like, why the hell is Bitcoin going? I don't get it. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't get it. What people call me every day. Should I buy Dogecoin? I'm like, I don't know, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are the fundamentals? Like, I don't get it. There's no quarterly earnings. So I still remember what it's like to be a new person who doesn't know anything. And so I always try to keep that in my brain when explaining it to a new person, so I can be in their shoes, be in their perspective. Because a lot of people I've met, recently, right, so ever since the Bitcoin conference or even on the plane ride to the Bitcoin conference, I met a brother named Big John from Chicago on the layover, and it was him and my guy who showed me sitting in the middle of me, and I'm sitting there taking notes on a notepad, getting all the ideas for my song Tokenomics, like they were teaching me, but not everybody has that. So it's like, I talk to people who've been in crypto for 10 years now, some of them, or 2017, a lot of people got in. it's been years they've been in this stuff, speaking this language. So to them, they're kind of in a bubble. Not always, but sometimes they're in a bubble because they speak to the crypto community. Most of the people who follow me are not in the crypto community, right? Like they want to learn about it, most of them, but they just don't know that much. Or a woman I saw today, a woman was doing my hair. She said that, you know, she bought her crypto on Cash App and on, I think it was PayPal, or, you know what I mean? Robinhood. They don't understand. I said, you know what? I'm going to post a video tonight called What's a Wallet? Because she needs to know that, you know, you can't have your crypto on. The only way you can get your money out is to sell it. There's no wallet, you know? So like, it seems rudimentary to the people who are inside of crypto, but I have XNL. He's like my expert. I let him explain it. You know what I mean? So I kind of set the platform to him so he can kind of explain it in technical terms, but also simple terms for obviously I could explain it too, but it's kind of nice to have a dialogue. So someone like her, she said, well, send me that video after you post it. You know what I mean? So someone like her, she's like, I don't even watch rap music no more, you know, but she wants to watch my video. She wants to watch my video on crypto though. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna send you that video after I post it.
Well, I tell you what, man, you've definitely covered your options for the future, no matter what happens. You know, if the rap career and the entertainment doesn't take off, which I can't imagine. I mean, you're already smashing it, man. But then you've got crypto, you've got investment, you've got teaching. I mean, you're a natural teacher, and because it's like you're saying, it's, you know, because I've taught a lot around self-development. My work, I've got a business called Live Your Genius. So my work was always around helping people find purpose, you know, in everyday life. And that was one of the things that I had to learn how to do, is to be able to come down and ask, like, there's this saying that it's not about the answers, it's about getting the right questions, right? Because you can have the most intelligent person in the world, but if you don't know how to ask the right questions, it's not going to help much. Whereas having you there to ask those questions, you know, knowing where you're fresh from that place. Plus, man, I can't believe how quick you've grasped the picture of it in such a short time. You know,
oh man, I dove deep, man. It's been I'm going to be honest, a lot of late nights, a lot of late nights, down many rabbit holes. Hell, including last night. I don't know if you guys saw. I was watching it pretty much live. If anybody follows Algorand, Yieldly is like a staking. They have different stakings for Algorand, and they just released a couple of new tokens that you can stake, and you're earning 86% or 100%. You know, and so it was like, it wasn't there 5 minutes ago, and then I saw him posted on Twitter, and then it was other. So I'm like, I ended up spending 3 hours on that last night, you know? So it's like, there's always, you can always spend another 3 hours looking into something. I mean, it gets addictive.
Right. It is. It's like Alice in Wonderland. It's like you open up a hole and it's like, oh, and it sounds like we got a similar kind of mindset where it's like, once you lock on, it's like a dog and a bone. It's like, let me get to the bottom of this hole first, then we'll think about something else.
Yeah, man. I had some USDT burning a hole in an account, and I was like, oh, let me go buy some. You know, I gotta go buy some new stuff.
Nice. So hey, now let's take a little journey back before back before blockchain. How long have you been in the music game? How long has this been your passion in your eyes? Since you've been a kid? Like, tell us a little bit about Cassius.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been into rap and recording and rapping and making beats and stuff. I've always been into that pretty much my whole life. I've had some success in the past on some older projects, and I had sat music down for a while. But a buddy of mine he's kind of like a famous dancer, and he wanted to get into music. And so he hit me up one time. He was he's been on America's Got Talent. He was in Romania, actually, on Romania's Got Talent. And he hit me up about some beats. And so when he came back to Oakland, I linked up with a producer buddy of his who was a producer for Universal Records. And he was just like, man, he wanted me to write a hit out of one of his songs once he heard some of my older music and stuff. So he kind of got me back into music, you know, and test the waters a little bit. I told him, I was like, I got to figure out a way to try to invest or do something, you know. And he was like, I can show you how to make money off of music. And so I was like, okay, I got to see it to believe it. But it was right when I released the project, My Own Wave, Riding My Own Wave, just 3 songs. The pandemic hit. And so, you know, I sat music down for a side, and we were locked down. I was like, the stock market crashed, man. I got to learn this shit. I got to learn it. You know, this is might be once in a lifetime, you know. Little do I know, I should have learned it years ago. But I was like, this is the time when I gotta do it. And so, you know, I didn't really promote that project that much. Just went on Spotify. I got about 500,000 streams on Spotify, which was cool. Got on some playlists. But then, nice. you know, I didn't make any more music, mostly for the rest of 2020 until early 2021. I was like, man, I got into Twitter and got into the Spac community on Twitter. And I was like, man, I just got to do this song, Spac Dream. And kind of everybody's been helping me. I've been learning everything from most of the community on Twitter. They've been teaching me so much. And I was like, I got to do a song for them, So that's basically what sparked Spac Dream.
What a trip, man. What a trip. And I mean, it's so beautiful to hear that, because this is one of the things that lit me up, right? Like, I was, went all in as well with the BitClout, because for me, it's like I saw that what we're being given here is the mechanisms and the tools to take the creators, the poets, the storytellers, the artists, the musicians, all these creators. And finally, we've got a vehicle to be able to actually monetize this in a healthy way, right? So what's your thoughts on how the music industry is going to change with NFTs, crypto, blockchain, this kind of involvement? Because obviously in the past, it's been pretty restricted, right? It's been pretty controlled.
Well, yeah, no, I'll give you an example, right? So like Spac Dream has 145,000 views on YouTube, right? I don't think I've gotten a check from anything of that yet, right? I don't know who's getting paid from that, but it ain't me. I do it for the clout at 6:30 p.m. I wake up at like 5 a.m. the next day before the market opens, and like my coin price is double and my market cap has tripled, and my, you know what I mean? Like I already made more money in 10 hours from the clout with 200 views than I have from 145,000 views on Spac Dream, so like that's kind of just like a pretty clear dynamic here, because folks, they believe in you. If they believe in you, they can invest in you directly. There's not a middleman taking the cut from Spotify. I think I got about 600,000 spins, got like what, $1,300 off of that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's nothing compared to releasing or selling your own NFTs directly. Is peer to peer. So they know they're getting it directly from you. So that's like, it's a game changer. And I don't know what the dynamics are going to come right now. There's not exactly a player for it. I do have a fan who posted a video of him playing it in his car, playing some of my NFT songs. I'm a believer he's playing it in his car. Somehow he hooked up the Bluetooth to it, but I don't know. There's not like an NFT player yet. So that's getting developed right now.
Yeah, I'm hearing you. I mean, well, this is the thing, right? Like we are so early. I mean, still people come. It's always funny, Cassius, when we see people come onto like Diamond app, right? Onto DeSo. And they're like, oh, this should be like this. And within days, they're like saying, it's not like Instagram. It's not like Facebook. It's like, man, if you knew how early we are right now, it is like, it is.
I don't even use Diamond app either. I'm still on just the browser, man. I'm like, I'm still old school way. I'm on the browser still, But yeah, exactly. And I try to tell people that stuff about everything. I own property in digital real estate in Decentraland, right? Which is the real metaverse, the decentralized metaverse, not the Mark Zuck crap. And so it's like, I want to build stuff in there for folks to like perform and sell NFTs and wearables and all sorts of stuff. And I showed it to a kid and he's like, why do the graphics look like this? I'm like, man, if only you knew, like you've been living with great graphics your whole entire life, man. Like video games didn't used to look that good. Like give it some time. Everything is new still. That's why I don't really have any time for any sort of negativity, because like we are at such an early stage on DeSo and just blockchain technology in general. We saw how fast things can happen. We know how fast technology evolves. Just give it a little bit of time. Everybody in crypto wants to like get rich hella quick or have something change hella fast. Stuff is changing fast, but just not here yet.
Yeah, right. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And it's exciting to think that the beautiful part is anyone who's here now, like if you're watching this right now, then, you're part of building this. And that's the thing, take responsibility for this. Like we get to create what we want, that time of going, hey, Zuckerberg, I want it like this. It's like, it's your job. Make it like this, go for it.
Right.
It's incredible.
That's a paradigm shift, right? That's completely different than, as far as I know, the rest of human society, right? Where you always waited for some centralized organization to deliver you. Hopefully it was what you wanted, right? This is, I don't think it's a coincidence. Like Bitcoin and crypto is like grassroots from the bottom up, right? I don't think it's a coincidence that like China wants to ban it and a country like El Salvador wants to embrace it, right? It's always from the grassroots up. Always, it's like, it was funny, I was trading stocks and then I'm in different groups and stuff. And they start talking about Dogecoin. And I didn't know what Dogecoin was. And these are from people who were not the most savvy investors, right? And I was like, I don't know if that, at first I was like, what the heck what is this? But I don't think it's actually coincidence. There's always something about the way crypto is coming from the bottom up. I always feel like it's always from the community first. It's rarely from a centralized head who's going to tell you how things are. It always seems to be from some sort of democratization upwards. And I think that's a truly paradigm shift for the way things have been developed in human history.
That's a mic drop right there, my man. Now, Cassius, I'm going to hand you to Alex to ask a few questions. Alex, you ready? And then after that, if we have a bit of time, we'll keep going. It's just I know that if I ask anything more, we're going to keep going for an hour, and I'm going to take Alex's time. All right. So, Alex, how you doing? Are you ready, my friend?
Yeah, my friend. Thank you so much for giving me the floor. So, Cassius, I'll have a few questions which will require a long answer from you, and then I have some questions with the short answers. So let's start. Let's jump in. As we talked before the podcast, you have prepared your haircut. Could you tell us a little bit more about it?
Oh man, well, I just like to have a lot of fun, man. I had orange hair before. It was the Halloween season, it was the autumn leaves changing colors. Pull out the orange old school. If you guys saw some of the pictures, I got some more videos for it coming too, but I just like to have a little fun with it.
Awesome.
Oh, but the blue, I had to switch to the blue. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I had to switch to the blue because on Thursday, I'm flying out to Tampa Bay and we're doing the DSO meetup. And so I had to go to blue because the logo for DSO is blue. So for sure, I had to switch to blue.
Wow, that's cool, man. This is a cool way to promote the DSO for sure, man. Across the real world. So what's,
I just gotta say, Alex, looks like you got sacred geometry going on in there, man. Looks wicked. The flower of life in your head. I'm loving it.
So I saw a few beautiful cars in your video devoted to BitClout, and I would like to know, what's your favorite car? Do you like retro cars?
My favorite car is probably a Chevelle.
Wow.
A Chevelle, 1970 Chevelle.
Awesome.
Old school, convertible. Got to be convertible.
Awesome.
I used to have a 1964 Lincoln Continental convertible with the suicide doors, and I sold it a few years ago. But I'm gonna come back with some next year. I plan on doing a lot of stuff. We need this crypto to run.
So my next question is about your inspiration. Who was an inspiration for you to become a music artist, and who are your heroes in the realm of music?
Oh man, well, wow. I like a lot of artists. If you ever listen to my music, there's kind of a wide variety of music that I make, and that's because I like so many different types of music, especially within the hip hop genre. It's a wide range of different types of styles I like. I mean, everything from Tupac and Big L to Boots from the Coup, who I don't know how many people know that. He's an artist from Oakland, real revolutionary type. To people who just, like to have fun. Digital Underground, those are my peoples. Rest in peace, Shock G just passed away. And, they make the song Do What You Like and Humpty Dance. Like they like to have a lot of fun, And so I kind of have a lot of influences when it comes to hip hop, kind of all over the place.
Wow. And those all mix just coming to your head, and you are doing something incredible with all of that and producing your own music and texts. Right.
Yeah, exactly. And some and the newer artists, J. Cole and Lil Baby, I like some of their stuff too. I like J. Cole a lot. And so it's like now when I make music nowadays, sometimes maybe with auto-tune or vocal effects, I plan on making some really cool metaverse music, by the way. But you're going to see some stuff coming next year where it's not going to even sound like me. It's going to sound crazy.
Wow. So speaking about the music, what was the last thing that excited you the most?
In music?
In music as well, and just in real world as well.
Excited me the most? Okay, you know what excited me? No, I'm gonna keep it real though. Bitcoin touching its all-time high, what is it, a couple weeks ago or whatever. And I'll tell you why. Because obviously the beginning part of the year, and this was when I was not really into crypto, and Bitcoin shot up hecka high, right? And then it fell in May and April and May or whatever, right? And then all the crypto crashed down. And I think a lot of people thought that crypto was just a fad, or they didn't know, it was just some trading thing. It was just a hype or whatever. Like even some of the SPACs, right? Kind of the same idea. The SPACs fell down and they thought it was just a trend. Maybe it was like a Wall Street Bets thing or something, right? But I, of course, at this time started educating myself on crypto. And I was like, you guys, no, this is the future. Like we're buying this on a 50% discount right now, And so to me, it only took 3 short months to be vindicated for it to return back to its all-time high. And I know price is not the end all be all. I'm not a price predictor, but for people who thought it was just a hype or just a fad, or crypto was the shiny object, who didn't understand that the underlying technology really has real use case now, whether it be Bitcoin or some other coin. But the fact that technology turned the market around in 3 months from their bottom back to the high, when I was telling everybody that I knew, you got it. If you want to get into crypto, now's the time. I don't know if it's going to go any lower, but dollar cost averaging, you got to get something in because this is going to come back. That was not a fad. Maybe it got ahead of itself on price, but this is not going away. If you're a long-term investor, like I stopped trading when I got into crypto, right? I was doing a lot of trading with stocks. Mm-hmm. When I was buying at this last dip in June and July, I really haven't sold much of anything, very little. I sold some Shiba Inu the other day, but like, what I'm saying? Like I really was mostly accumulating for long-term. How can I stake it? Right. You're getting the combination of a growth stock and a dividend stock at the same time. So I think if you want to say inspiration, how something really exciting that happened was Bitcoin hitting its all-time high. I was like, I told you so.
Yeah. And you are definitely on the light side of the army because, crypto is becoming mainstream for now. And another proof of it is that CEO of Twitter said that Bitcoin is the most honest, market in the world. So it's definitely a sign of the mainstream of crypto world. And those who are not understand it, they just are falling behind us, and they will need to chase us in the future. Unfortunately for them.
Well, so that's why we're spreading the word. That's why I'm getting awareness out there.
Absolutely, you're doing a great job for it. Yeah, Lilian, I see your question. I will ask it, and Mark will ask it a little bit later. So speaking about the crypto, there is another great phenomenon in crypto world called NFT, and I would like to know what NFT projects do you like on DeSo?
Oh, wow. That on DeSo, there's so many. I don't even want to single anybody out on DeSo. There's so many things. A lot of great artists. I scroll through and I just look at them. I will say one, I did like the Clout punks. Obviously it's a play on the crypto punks, but I mentioned them in my song, because Jay-Z kind of, I think a turning moment for NFTs in general is when Jay-Z made his profile on I think it was Twitter or something, with social media. He made it a crypto punk, right? And so why I say in the song "Do It for the Clout," I say I go hard till I'm pushing up daisies, or till a clout punk's the profile of Jay-Z. like until he switches out a crypto punk for a clout punk. So like what? That's how I know. That's how I know Big Clout made it, when Jay-Z has a clout punk instead of a crypto punk. So I guess I like the clout punks.
Yeah, let's do our best to find the right connections with surrounding of him and try to reach out. I'm gonna ask some short questions, and you can ask either long or short, but it's very simple. You just need to choose between different options. So let's go. Ethereum or Bitcoin?
Woo! Oh, you had to come with a hard one, huh? Listen, it's two different things, man. It's two different things. I will say Ethereum, and I'll tell you why. I gotta tell you why on this one. I know you want to A/B test, but Ethereum represents DeFi. So Ethereum hit its all-time high today, for the record, right? I posted it, right? But I feel like Ethereum represents decentralized finance. It represents DeFi, I should say. The DeFi project smart contracts is what it represents. And I feel like Bitcoin's by itself, and then there's everything else. And the everything else mostly has to do with smart contracts, right? Or the most use case crypto. So like DeSo, it's a blockchain And it's I think it's more DeFi than how Bitcoin is. So I'm going to say Ethereum if you ask me one of the two. And then, of course, just growth. It has a smaller market cap. So if you're an investor, it probably will go higher.
Yeah, absolutely reasonable. Ethereum has much more utility and use cases than Bitcoin.
Right. It's utility. Right.
Yeah. Nachos or tacos?
Nachos or tacos? Is that what you said?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, tacos. Sexy queso. My man makes what they call sexy queso. You guys, if you follow my page, you see every Tuesday I'm down there, Taco Tuesday. Except for today. Shit, I got to get down there after this. But sexy queso for sure. I love tacos. He makes the best tacos.
Awesome. Dogs or cats?
Dogs. Man's best friend. Look. A dog looks up to you. A cat looks down to you.
So no Dogecoin, just Catcoin, right?
I'll take yeah.
We'll need to create one. Yeah. A free day doing sports or relaxing in the beach?
Ooh, boy. I'm gonna go at beach since we're headed to Tampa Bay, man. My hotel's right on the beach. We're gonna enjoy this one.
Yeah, awesome, man. TikTok or YouTube?
YouTube. I hate TikTok. TikTok. I'm gonna call it TikTok from now on. Go ahead.
Okay. To spend $1,000 to buy a car or invest in crypto?
Crypto. I told you guys I sold my old school. My old school is sold. I'm not buying another old school. Everything. I'm all in on crypto, you guys. Crypto.
Awesome. And my last question for you, man. What simple financial or crypto advice tip could you give to the beginner?
I know it's been said a million times, but I am going to reiterate it. You got to have an exit plan when you have your entry plan. You have to know what type of investor you're going to be. And part of that includes knowing that you're putting in as much as you're willing to not have to touch again or not have to see again. I don't like to say willing to lose, but I'll say willing to have to set aside dormant. That people, I don't want them to treat it like gambling. You know, I don't want them to bet their rent on a coin. So I definitely would say don't put in more than you can afford to lose and have a plan for it.
Awesome, man. And speaking about today's conversation, at the beginning, I feel like you are a genuine artist, music artist, and you're doing great in it. And now I'm feeling like you are a true expert in financials and crypto. So my image of you just shifting away to more crypto world and financial expert, man. Thank you so much for your answers.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I really, you guys, if you don't mind me saying, like, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I got a lot of videos coming now. It's basically all crypto, mostly, like I said, for beginners, but talk about what a different type of wallet, security. Another person comes on, asks me questions. He's actually an artist in the metaverse Somnium space. He's a rapper in there, and he's trying to get in more into crypto. So it's interesting. He's utilizing the metaverse, right, to be an artist and interact, but he's not an investor in crypto. See, that's kind of a new phenomenon, right? A lot of us, we found out about crypto first, and then we found out about the metaverse, and then we went in there and we checked it out. He's a gamer. So he was in there, about gaming. So I have him on. His name is Sessions, and he's going to be asking me some questions that, people who are new to crypto are going to want the answers to. So if you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, you're going to see a lot more videos coming.
Absolutely. And everyone who is watching now or will watch it, subscribe to Cassius' channel, and he's doing great stuff on his YouTube channel. And you need to watch it for sure. And speaking about the metaverse, do you know is there any meta coin now, or should we create one?
Well, yeah. Well, Mana is the coin for Decentraland. It just went up over 300%. So Mana that's the coin for Decentraland. Sandbox is another one, and I was this close to buying some land in Sandbox. I never did because I couldn't figure out the location. If you guys are going to invest, by the way, in the metaverse, you want to know what location that you're buying in. That's just a little nugget. But SAND is sand. That is the currency for Sandbox. There's not a currency directly for Somnium space. And if I'm wrong, someone out there correct me. But there are other games inside the metaverse. For example, the casinos inside Decentraland, DG is the token for it. Decentral Games is, I believe, how it's pronounced. And that is the token for the decentralized casinos. There's multiple casinos in Decentraland, and you can stake it. By the way, last time I checked, you can earn 21% staking it. So there's other coins that are involved with the metaverse that may not be the actual token of that said metaverse.
Wow. Thank you so much for bringing it up. A lot of advice.
We're going to make a video, me and XNL too. We're big in the gaming tokens. We're going to make a video about that too. Got to make one about that because there's a lot of them.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much, Mark.
Yeah, thanks, Alex. It's always fun sitting in the back enjoying the show. And then I'll jump back in. Cassius, you're all mine now for the rest of the show. So, man, honestly, like, this is something I've been fascinated by, but I just haven't found the time, space to kind of find an in-way into, because I mean, I get the concept metaverse. I mean, it's something I'm madly in love with, but I haven't had that space to go deep in it because it's all over the place, right? The information. And I'm actually pretty stoked that I'm going to be following and check out these videos that you're putting up because I love the way you think and the way you speak. You speak my language, and I look forward to really seeing more of what you're bringing out because right now, what I'm seeing, Cassius, is like the biggest challenge we have is not a lack of information. Like it's the opposite, right? It's like we are over, like there's been more information available to us than ever, but trying to discern between it, to be able to stitch it together, to get the picture of it. We need the poets, we need the bards and the storytellers. And I can see that you're one of them for sure. So make sure everyone, like Alex said, follow Cassius, make sure you follow his YouTube channel. Also, if you use Clout Feed, the app, there's a notification button. So you can click that to make sure you get notifications of a user. So I'll be doing that as soon as I get off this.
And that's okay. So that's Clout Feed. What is that? You guys got to put me on some of the third-party apps. I mean, Clout Feed. Clout Feed. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't use third-party. Is that your favorite? One time I asked a question. What's your favorite third-party app for DeSo? Is it Clout Feed?
And it's a bit like choosing your favorites, right? But it's the one that I organically have just naturally used. Like I haven't gone out of my way to pick one or choose, but Clout Feed is the one that I find myself just going to on my mobile. Like it's the easy to use one. You can do diamond tips and all these different things. They've managed to get around the iOS restrictions by doing it as a test. But and it doesn't, Nader just shared about it online as well on DeSo, saying that, the new security that got in place is fantastic. So you don't have to worry about your security. So DeSo, Clout Feed's one I'm using. And then, to be honest, I kind of end up on bitclout.com. Whenever I want to buy and trade coins and stuff, I just end back on the OG platform. So.
Okay. No, I was wondering. I got to test out Clout Feed more often. And you said it's on both Android and Apple.
I'm pretty sure it's on Android. Yeah. I know for sure Apple. I use Apple myself, but yeah, absolutely.
And that, I'm glad we actually brought this up. Because I was gonna say a lot of new people always ask me when I ask them about BitClout, have you heard of it? Have you heard of it? Every single day I ask somebody, have you heard of it? And then I say, what's the app? What's the app? And I usually am, because I don't use the apps. So now I'll tell them I got to get familiar with Clout Feed so that way I can tell other folks, because that's obviously a barrier of entry, or at least something that they're familiar with.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think so, right? Because that's where the just general user can have a nice experience. Whereas, it's a bit foreign having to use a browser, et cetera, for some. But I know there's Flick app and there's also Cloudy app. But to be honest, I've just used Clout Feed is the one that I've always gone back to. So that's not investment advice. It is none of those things, but it is what I love. All right, man. I've just seen, we've got Lillian, who's in the group, who had a question. She was asking who your favorite creators on DeSo were, and have you discovered any musicians via the platform that you admire?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, DJ Tropics is on there. Obviously, the first song that I ever heard for BitClout was Clay Perry Music. There's also The Prophet is also on there. He's a recording artist too. I think he's from Memphis, if I remember correctly. The Prophet is on there too. Boy, I can't remember everybody's name, but every once in a while I come across, and then there's because there's groups of like I can't remember anybody's name right now, but there's like where they track all the other artists and the musicians and stuff that are on there. So if you can find the different pages that have those, and they have like third-party apps where you can go on there and listen to the other artists and stuff too. So I got to pull it together and make more posts about it. Mm-hmm. Here, this is something you said there's something you said earlier that's kind of interesting, right? Like there's so many things, right? We have too much information now, right? And I'm kind of in a unique situation that I'm just so interested in everything that I want to know at least a little bit about everything. but it kind of stops me from doing deep dives, which is one of the reasons why I like having my show where I can bring on somebody who's an expert in one space or the next space. Cause I kind of want to know everything, but I don't have time to like deep dive on everything. So it's just the way it is, man. It's only 24 hours a day.
Right. That's how we ended up doing Who's Got Clout, the podcast, man, is I just sat there and realized there's, between us, we just realized there's so many amazing people on this platform. And rather than doing a deep dive on my own and then I thought, well, hey, let's have interviews. Let's have conversations. And it's like, we get to learn as we go. Right. And because it's challenging, man. I think it's going to be our biggest challenge now is discerning between what's bullshit and what's real. And, that's a pretty big philosophical question right now. But
a lot of stuff is real too. There's just so much of it. This is like a paradigm shift. Like the regular world to the metaverse is like everything in the entire world is now an NFT or in the metaverse. Like, you know what I mean? Like nobody knows everything in the entire world. So it's just so even real stuff, not bullshit, like it's just, wow. Like it's just so much stuff.
It's surreal. And I say it a lot. A lot of people are saying, it's like going down, Alice going down the rabbit hole, Alice in Wonderland, right? But it's legit like that. It's like we're watching politics, we're watching economics, real world economics and politics like collapsing, and this blockchain world growing and catching it, right? And I've been telling this story, I think the last 8 years that I've been seeing blockchain coming. But it was DeSo, and it was like Ethereum. I saw Bitcoin. I saw what it was doing. I thought, okay, this is awesome. But the moment that I recognized DeSo and saw what it was doing, I thought, oh boy, now here we go. Dude. Like it's time. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm telling you, I took to like a fish to water. I even lagged a little bit when I first signed up because I got back from the Bitcoin conference. I was doing these things. I was making NFTs and everything. I was like, man, I got to get on that damn BitClout. I was like, I got to get active on there, And then we finished the project I was making. I just want to say one thing. So when I got back from the Bitcoin conference, right, it was such an explosion of amazing people there from all walks of life, all backgrounds, all ages. Like, so it was like I made a documentary. And I made an NFT out of the documentary, about a 5-minute long documentary NFT of Bitcoin 2021. And because I wanted to show the personalities, the people who were there, and everyone's not there talking about how rich they got. They're mostly there talking about philanthropy and how great the community is. Right. That's mostly what it was about. I happened to end up, somebody sent me a text. They're like, oh man, you made the cover of CoinDesk magazine. I said, CoinDesk, I'm on the cover. Oh, and I was with my boy. I was like, yeah, we made it. And then I looked and it was a FUD article. And it was about, it goes, Miami Bitcoin conference, super spreader event with a question mark. I was like, CoinDesk, you're telling me the only news you got about the Bitcoin conference was it a super spreader event? You got me on the cover of that shit? So like, then I was pissed. I went and I got a COVID test so I get on camera to say I'm negative and all. It was not a super spreader event. And I say that just because my documentary is about how great the people are. Not about less FUD that the mainstream media, you're not going to see that video from the mainstream media about what the energy was like in that building. And so what I'm doing is I have it on a Rarible right now for sale. It's a one-of-one NFT, but I'm going to, whoever buys it is going to get my gold and diamond Bitcoin chain. I'm going to hand deliver it to them. I'm putting it around their neck. We're going to film it. Okay. Wherever you are in the world, I'll bring it to you if you buy my NFT, and then I'm going to donate half the money to charity. And it's going to be the charities that were at the Bitcoin conference.
Well, there you go. So everyone better get their ass in the gear and start putting those bids on, huh? Are you going to post on DeSo, the link to it?
I'll post it. Yeah, I was wearing this in the video when I was at the conference. Obviously, it was kind of a showstopper. Pomp looks at that. He goes, "Is this thing real?" Like he's like, "Actually, yeah, it's real."
That's incredible, man. That's incredible. And I think it's like, again, proof of concept of how the old world, economics for media work is that it's fear porn, sell fear porn, right? Whereas we're seeing now that, like, how much money did they make off that article? Whereas, how much are you going to make off cashing in on, off the actual video things and the creations and creative
most of it's most of it's getting given to a charity. This costs me a lot of money, but but the main point that I'm trying to drive home is I'm trying to bring awareness to this space, right? So people in my community who don't people call me and say, "What's an NFT?" Right? Before I even went out there, I barely even had a good answer for them, right? But they understand the value of a gold chain. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't understand the value of an NFT, but it's like, wait, a rapper gave away his gold chain, his Bitcoin chain. Like, you know what I mean? Like NFTs have like, it's like an intrinsic value that they can understand better. So it brings awareness to it as far as doing that.
That's awesome, man. 100%. It's showing it in action, right? And it's again, I think storytelling is going to be so important as we go forwards. We've got to put things into a story that people can digest rather than facts, you know, that kind of just bounce off at the moment, a lot of people's heads. Hey, Cassius, I just want to do a shout out before you, oh, sorry, no, what were you saying?
No, I was just going to say, if all we ever do is talk about tokenomics, we'd lose them in the first 2 seconds.
Yeah, right. It's so true. It is so true. All right. So now I've got to do a shout out to our YouTube crew that have been watching live. We got Sly Disciple, MP3 watching, saying gang, gang. Is that a shout out to the old Theo Von as well, I think. But Sean Slater jumping in, saying hello, and Android has been confirmed. So Clout Feed, yes, works on Android, and he loves it. And we've got Clout Trends. So we have our man Darian here, and he was saying he's going to be hanging out with you in Tampa and maybe Australia next time. So I look forward to when we get you all down here for that. We just got to get the military off the streets on the East Coast. And it's mental, man. That's another conversation. Shout out to Goldberry from Sean Slater. So Goldberry is an awesome crew of musicians that are doing some beautiful music. And Clout Trends. So Darius has said Audio Node is also a good place to check.
Oh, yes. Audio Node. Thank you. That was the one I was slipping my mind. Yes. Audio Node. Shout out to Audio Node and those guys.
Yeah.
Sweet. And gals. And gals. Yeah.
Guys and gals. My friend. And
we have women of Big Clout too. Yep. I got a lot of female women of Big Clout too. Shout out to you guys. You've been great supporters, and I always support y'all as well.
Absolutely, man. You know, it's a great equalizer out here, the blockchain, where it's like, you know, in a world where we're now doing big business deals and you can wear whatever the fuck you want, you know, it's like people are turning up however you want to dress. Like if you come in a business suit, people are looking at you like, are you part of the old world? It's like that doesn't work here anymore. You know, it's like male, female, everything in between. Have you got a good idea? Let's make it happen.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
All right, my friend. Well, Cassius, I could sit and talk to you for hours on end, and hopefully I get that opportunity someday. But thanks for taking the time, my friend. Really, really appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
Any
and
last
salute
words?
to everybody. Just keep it popping, keep it lit. And, you know, you got to enjoy life, man. You know what I'm saying? You have ups and downs. We all have ups and downs, but I don't want to spend my time talking about all the downs and posting all the downs. I like talking about the ups and spreading positivity, spreading the good word. I think we're onto something that's genuinely good here with DeSo. I really do. And decentralization in general. And I just want everybody in the whole world to know about it and have an opportunity to be a part of it.
You're an inspiration, brother. Thank you so much for joining us. Thanks everyone for watching live. Please reclout, repost, share this out, get it out there. Chuck it out on Instagram, chuck it on anywhere you've got it, and help get this word out, because I think the way you speak, Cassius, will really touch a lot of people out there and help them make, and like you say, make that bridge. So thanks again, my friend. Make sure to tune in, follow Clout Forum, everyone, to see the next sessions. We have plenty more coming over the weeks to come. So again, thanks, Cassius. Thanks, Alex. Thanks everyone watching. We'll see you in the next round.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.